Last month was midterm exam prep period for all teenagers in South Korea. In that period, 3 teenagers committed suicide in a span of 5 days, all in Gangnam, the richest district in South Korea. Why are all these suicides happening so close to each other? And is Korea's education system to blame? First, let's get a grasp on how the Korean education system works. The school curriculum is pretty standard, but kids don't learn in school, they revise. Students instead learn topics, usually maths, English, or Korean, months or even years ahead in private schools, called hagwons. Hagwons became extremely popular starting in the late 1990s, now becoming a $20 billion industry. This has gone so extreme that the government had to put a curfew on hagwon closing times, which is 10 p.m. This also happens to be the time in which most of my friends go home. 학원 끝나고 언제 집에 가나요?
10시?
9시 30분.
And as you may have noticed, hagwons come with lots of problems. First, hagwons are very expensive, and according to a government survey done in 2020, the average monthly spending on hagwons was 410,000 won, which is $306. Keep in mind that Korea's working class and middle class have a huge difference in salary, which would result in differences in spending too. So this would realistically be a much bigger number in most places. Also, all of this hagwon pressure has put a mental toll on many students. And according to a survey, 1 in 3 students felt suicidal due to academic burdens. Moving on from hagwons though, there's also a different grading system. Unlike the US, Korean high school grades are relatively evaluated. That means that to get an A+, you don't need to get a score that is above the required level, but instead need to be in the top 4% out of all people in your school taking that subject in that semester. And this may seem fine, but with these already competitive hagwon environments, this is like pouring oil on a fire. Now, these are perfect conditions for a high self-harm rate. According to this graph by the Korean Herald, intentional suicide and self-harm rates are highest in men and women in their 20s, and in second place comes females in their teens. As Gangnam is the richest district in South Korea, it's also the most education competitive. Daechidong, a neighborhood in Gangnam, is also known as the Mecca of private education, and the upper class of Korea spend ludicrous amounts of money there to try give their children more opportunities. And it has kind of worked. Korea's GDP has been growing incredibly fast for the past 60 years, and the driving force behind that could be this Spartan education system. However, in this current situation, things have gone too far. The economy is winning, but the children are losing.